Hello and welcome to this video on the future of mobility and smart cities. I'm Graham Neal, I'm editor of SmartCitiesWorld. Connected and autonomous vehicles are one of the most exciting areas of smart cities for the decades ahead. They're also emblematic of the kind of approach needed for all kinds of resilient services. Ecosystem-based approaches are seen as the best means of incorporating a wide range of expertise, sharing and refining ideas, and ultimately improving services. Area X.0 is just one success story of this ecosystem approach. The Ottawa-based facility is a secure environment that is trialing future mobility, autonomy, and connected technologies across transportation and telecoms to smart agriculture, defense, aerospace, public safety, and smart cities. To discuss Area X.0's work and how success very much depends on tapping into the right ecosystem, I'm delighted to be joined by Sonya Shorey, VP Strategy, Marketing and Communications at Invest Ottawa, the company behind Area X.0.
Thank you so much for having me, Graham. I'm excited to be here.
So for those who are unfamiliar, perhaps, can you introduce them to Area X.0?
Absolutely. You did a fantastic job providing an overview of some of the vision, mission, mandate of Area X.0, which is operated by Invest Ottawa, lead economic development agency for knowledge-based industries right here in Canada's capital. We've coined it the futureplex of innovation and collaboration, and it really enables innovators from every sector and scientific discipline, startups, scale-ups, SMEs, multinationals, and government partners to join us to create, test, validate, demonstrate, and implement next generation smart mobility, autonomy, and connectivity technologies. And just as you've noted, these span far beyond connected and autonomous vehicles and intelligent transportation. There is a wealth of opportunity in every single sector, from agriculture to first responders, public safety, defense. It's just a very, very vast field.
Area X.0 is home to really every kind of connected and autonomous vehicle you can think of. Smart farming, drones, back to connected railway. Why do you feel this technology is so pertinent in 2021?
Smart mobility technologies and of course connectivity and autonomy, very, very critical in terms of actually fulfilling the potential of those solutions, have a wealth of opportunity to address some of the biggest, grandest challenges and opportunities that I believe we face as a planet and as a society. I think that there's many environmental, economic, and societal benefits that can be gained, provided they are implemented carefully and safely. So safety, as I mentioned, is truly the North Star for Area X.0. And when we think about the export potential of those technologies, if you're an innovator, an SME, or a startup that's looking to break into these new global markets with an emerging technology, if you can't test and demonstrate that it is safe and performs as it should in all types of conditions, whether those are weather conditions, certain types of traffic, emergency situations, disasters, then you're limiting the market potential and the ability to harness the true power of that innovation to deliver whatever value or impact you're targeting. And you know, there's a massive market opportunity that we recognize in this particular field. And you can always look at different market figures. One that we use, 566 billion total global market value by 2026, when you look at just global CAV, not just, you know, broader with respect to the whole smart mobility and smart city space, but that's massive. And now we're in a pandemic. And market opportunity matters now more than ever. We need those emerging technologies to drive our future recovery. So there's an amazing opportunity for us to help create and drive some of that opportunity right here in Ottawa with our startups, our scale-ups, and our SMEs, to collaborate globally with others looking to solve big challenges, whether they're pandemic related or in other sectors. When you look at the UN sustainability goals, smart mobility has the potential to address a multitude of those, including the creation of safer roads, just as one example. And when you look across different sectors, you know, sectors like precision agriculture and smart farming, if we can find the way to help farmers and producers take data and translate that into more educated decisions, investments that increase their return on the way in which they're approaching their crops and approaching their business, we can help them achieve greater profitability, productivity, and performance in their field. And it's a very challenging field to acquire those types of gains. And there's a host of different opportunities and challenges that we're looking at the Ottawa Smart Farm, which is a very important part of Area X.0. We have 100 acres laden with technology, a host of sensors, experts and producers that are putting that information to work to try and enhance that opportunity for producers. So just one example of how I think we can harness that technology to increase the potential economically, socially, and of course, environmentally. These technologies have massive potential to reduce our carbon footprint, create cleaner, greener communities, address the rural-urban divide with first and last mile solutions. If you look at low-speed automated shuttles, which is a really exciting area that we've been deeply involved in at Area X.0, even during the pandemic, we actually, together with Transport Canada, a host of multinationals, including Accenture, EasyMile, some of our startups and SMEs, and the City of Ottawa, of course, which is a critical partner, we hosted the first low-speed automated shuttle trial of its kind on city streets in Ontario in the middle of the pandemic. So of course, working closely with public health authorities and engaging our citizens to provide us with feedback on their experience on the shuttle and exploring and evaluating how it performed in a wealth of different weather conditions. And let me tell you, in early November, we had snow, we had sleet, we had ice, we had sun, and we had wicked winds. So it was an amazing 2 weeks where we gathered a host of data that now all of the policymakers, legislators, and companies that were engaged in that trial can put that to work to support new legislation and safety frameworks that allow these technologies to be implemented at the right time in the right way safely, and enabling those companies to refine and evolve their products, their technologies, and offerings so they accelerate and increase their market potential, not just here domestically, but internationally. So I see a world of opportunity as long as we do it safely, which is really the guiding light and the purpose for Area X.0.
So in addition to connected and autonomous vehicles, what smart city technologies are you currently exploring?
There is such a wealth across all of the different sectors that we are increasingly engaged in. So I think I mentioned earlier, low-speed automated shuttles. We actually own 2 pods, and we conduct testing on a very regular basis, both at our private track, where we conduct tests, demonstrations, and validations safely that cannot be done securely on a city street, and then our public track, which is in Canada's largest tech park, in fact, where you can actually test with real world traffic, with live city infrastructure, safely and securely once the innovation is ready to go what we call prime time and be integrated safely into that environment. Low speed automated shuttles, we were really excited to run that first trial on city streets here in Ontario last November, where we were in a closed environment called Tunney's Pasture, a government owned campus that allowed us to create a safe loop where the shuttles were operating at about 15 kilometers per hour, 1.5 kilometers through that particular campus in all types of conditions. And this delivered all kinds of insight that Transport Canada and all of those partners can put to work for different objectives, whether legislation and safety frameworks, looking at how their technologies perform in real world conditions, how riders that we safely engaged during that period, what their perceptions were, their concerns, their experience, what they liked and what they didn't like. And of course, helping to inform Transport Canada's approach to looking at low-speed automated shuttles as a potential transportation solution, particularly bridging that divide between urban and rural environments, that first and last mile transportation gap. Launching this in 2019 and going into a pandemic in 2020, you can imagine that came with a host of unusual circumstances, a very strange time to continue evolving and building the capabilities and serving innovators. But following all the protocols and precautions established by our governments, we've been able to continue operating as an R&D facility safely in a very structured, careful way. And we're very, very excited about the approaches that we're seeing, the novel technologies that innovators are bringing to us. We want people to bring their biggest, boldest challenges, the toughest things that they're managing and working on, so that we can harness the power of our ecosystem, our constellation of partners, and this incredible infrastructure to help them achieve those goals. So it's very, very exciting. Area X.0 is one of the most exciting initiatives I have ever been involved in my career.
I think what is clear as well, given the diversity of the ecosystem of partners, that is also key to the excessive success of what you've achieved to date. What is it about an ecosystem approach that you feel works so well?
We simply could not have achieved anything with Area X.0 without the myriad of outstanding world-class partners that have contributed their time, their knowledge, their expertise, their capabilities and technologies to join us in helping to fulfill that vision of bringing smart mobility, connectivity, and autonomous innovation to life and see it implemented safely. Government, legislators, and regulators that are consistently joining us at the site. They're literally 20 minutes away, and when it's safe to do so, they engage with our community. That unique constellation of partners has created something so powerful that I believe will truly change certainly the economy and the market potential for Ottawa and the innovators we serve. It will allow all of the innovation that's happening at our site to be export ready and to impact markets worldwide. So I think the ability to harness all of the different strengths of an ecosystem is very, very powerful. And I think it's a template that can be replicated by any region, community, city, municipality, or country around the world. Taking a look inward and looking at your economic strengths, the challenges that you want to face as a region, all of the expertise that you have when you look at your post-secondary ecosystem, your innovation ecosystem, your technology expertise, the companies. We have 1,750 technology companies that employ over 78,000 professionals and highly skilled workers right here in Ottawa. In fact, it's CBRE's technology report for talent produced in 2020 shows that Ottawa has the highest concentration of tech talent anywhere in North America at 11.3% of our total workforce. Silicon Valley is 10.5%. So we have this incredibly rich ecosystem that punches far above its weight. We needed to put that to work so that we could help our innovators and others around the world address some of those great big grand challenges and opportunities that we face as a planet.
One of the partners that you work with is Accenture, and it really has played a critical role throughout the inception of Area X.0 and its running today. Can you talk about what you have achieved by working with them?
Accenture is a world leader. They bring such deep knowledge and expertise and a network of information that they can bring to bear that we could never have in isolation. And so together, we undertook something that I don't think I've seen any other economic development agency do. Invest Ottawa launched essentially R&D infrastructure within our city, which is completely outside the scope of a typical mandate for an organization like us. So it was essential for us to partner with a leader such as Accenture so that we could get a lot of those fundamentals with respect to our business and operating model right, and set us up for something that could be sustainable, something that could grow and continually evolve to increase both market opportunity and impact, whether it's on any of those axes I described: environmental, economic, and certainly social. So we required a really broad array of industry expertise when we undertook this goal, spanning automotive, intelligent transportation, and smart city solutions. And of course, Accenture brings that in spades. That's why we teamed up with them to design and implement the Microsoft Azure Internet of Things cloud platform, an absolutely critical capability for our innovators, SMEs, and scale-ups. Of course, smart infrastructure, I described our public test track has a series of different types of sensors and smart city infrastructure installed by the city of Ottawa. It's literally right outside the doors of BlackBerry QNX, one of our anchor partners. And there's an ability to swap technology in and out with proper planning safely and allowing us to customize that infrastructure to the needs of our clients when they're performing tests in that public track. That's a game changer because it allows those companies to gather real live data and establish first use cases that demonstrate their technologies. It's like a proof of concept, increases the commercial potential because it shows a customer or an investor that you have something that's sound, that works, that performs according to the spec. These tests, these use cases that we perform in both the private track and the public track enable that data, that learning, and that insight to be generated and put to work by those companies. We have a railway crossing as well, which is really exciting, and it allows us to quickly onboard and test new technologies, sensors, devices that interact and communicate with road users, with CAVs, with our shuttles. We've really created, with our partners, a genuine mini city that is laden with technology, capabilities, and the only, to my knowledge, communications infrastructure of its kind in the world. Drones and unmanned aerial vehicles, we are seeing tremendous demand at Area X.0 for tests that engage UAVs. We're very fortunate to have soft landed Indra Robotics, a leader in this technology at Area X.0. And together, we're enabling the design and implementation of UAV tests, projects, use cases with a host of different opportunities in our private gated site. And so these Nokia drones that we have acquired are connected fully to our private, secure, high-capacity mobile broadband network. And testing remains unaffected by the congestion on the network. And so we can have maximum uplifting, customization with these drones that allows for all kinds of different design, validation, demonstration, and testing with cameras, loudspeakers, searchlights, a host of technologies. Very, very excited to see how we can evolve that for the defense, the public safety sector, some of the use cases that we have enabled with the mobile Area X.0 command center, those drones and companies such as Provectus Robotics that are also on site with us. We've demonstrated search and rescue type use to see how we could help to find individuals who might be missing, to identify lost assets. There's so many different applications that would support, in particular, first responders. We're very, very excited about that potential as well.
And to wrap up, clearly there's a lot going on at present. I think what excites us both about the technology is also what's coming down the line, whether it's in the next 12 months, whether it's the next 5 years, or even decade ahead. In your view, where next for connected and autonomous vehicles?
We're very excited about the potential for the many different types of solutions and technologies that we see being developed, tested, validated, and implemented at Area X.0 come to fruition. As we emerge from this pandemic, it's never been more important for us to leverage technology and innovation as a driver for our economic recovery. There are so many different opportunities. We're really zeroing in over the next few years on that smart mobility, smart farming, defense, security, and public safety, just to put a little bit of a focus on the types of opportunities where we feel we can double down with innovators and firms in our region and look at some of those big challenges that we're tackling as a planet as we emerge from the pandemic. And certainly Area X.0 is all about mystery and intrigue, really, and all the fascinating things that happen within our facility, many of which we can't describe where we're under NDA. And of course, that's a really important facet of the security, the physical security of the site, the security of the data management, and the projects, many of which are leading edge and confidential, that are highly competitive in nature. But certainly we are looking to capitalize on more economic opportunity, clean, green communities, how we can drive towards some of those net zero goals that have been established, not just here in Canada, but with partners around the world, how we can look at greater efficiency for our citizens, increased mobility for everyone in society. It's a true equalizing factor, I think, if we can find cost-effective solutions that support members of our community, women and men from every walk of life, from every background, to try and reduce some of the disparity between different populations, different regions, and equalize that opportunity. That's really an important part of Area X.0, is the democratization and the collaboration making all of these capabilities available for the greatest potential impact right across our society. We want to look for innovations that reduce our carbon footprint, support safety always with respect to vulnerable road users, how we make things like intersections more safe and secure as new technologies that can enhance all kinds of productivity and capability from a smart transportation perspective, also keeping those that are enjoying those outdoors and using more green, lean transportation mechanisms, right? Whether you're cycling, you're walking, critical to protect those vulnerable road users. We're looking at all facets of safety, all facets of economic, social, and environmental impact. We want everyone to bring us their biggest, boldest, most audacious challenges so we can help you to tackle them at Area X.0. And incredibly grateful again to the many partners that have enabled us to get on this journey and to pursue this big, bold vision together as an ecosystem, as a community, not just for Ottawa, but for the world.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I think it's clear that the ecosystem approach is one that's working, really treating each aspect of the transport ecosystem as part of one big community, I guess. Sonya Shorey, thank you very much for that insight, and hope to speak to you soon.
Thank you so much, Graham.